So, with Yahoo launching its college fantasy football game this year, there's excitement around college football a little bit. So, I thought I'd put out, people love sleepers when they talk about fantasy football. So, I thought I'd do 10 college football sleepers, two quarterback and tight end, three running back and wide receiver. It's hard to find sleepers in NFL fantasy football, but with college, there's so many teams and players. It's still possible to find unheralded league winners. The Yahoo game is P4 only, so I'll keep it to that in this video. And if you're not into fantasy football, that's okay. This is just some names of players to keep an eye on this season in college football that you may not hear people talking about. Let's go quarterbacks first. You know what? Let's go tight ends first. We always go quarterbacks first. Let's go tight ends first this time. All right, so for tight end first, we're going to the Big Ten. We got Luke Dehnicke, D2 All-American as a redshirt freshman, dominated with 61 catches for 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns. Now he's at Northwestern. He's a versatile receiver who can move around the formation, wins easily up the seam, but can also win as a catch-and-run player. He was listed at 6'3", 205 at D2 Minnesota Duluth last year, and now at Northwestern he's listed at 6'6", 240. I don't know if that's Big Ten inflation or if he's just hit a growth spurt, but if he's that big and can move as well as he did last year still, I'd be expecting big things. Next, let's take a look at Jaden Platt, tight end at Arkansas. Platt was the primary blocking tight end last year, but he also has receiving chops. New head coach Ryan Silverfield came over from Memphis, has utilized tight ends, especially in a play-action offense, so Platt has the ability to block and leak or bluff and get up the seam or out to the flat. He should be well utilized, especially with a relatively ho-hum receiving core that they have there with the Razorbacks, and with a quarterback room that has some scrambling ability. He can be a playmaker in off-script situations. Wide receiver Nik McMillan, now at Kansas, broke out down the stretch at Buffalo in 2025, dominating the MAC. McMillan is a smooth mover and wins down the field in contested catch situations. He also has the ability to catch and go, throwing screens and slants and things like that. He can make big plays with the ball in his hands. The Kansas wide receiver room was cleared out after the last 2 years, and his main competition for targets is likely to be fellow G6 transfer Nyziah Cox from Middle Tennessee, also a player to keep an eye on. At wide receiver, Micahi Danzy at Florida State. Danzy is a track star, set the ACC record in the 400 meters, and is a big play threat on the field, who averaged over 21 yards per reception in 2025 in his first year playing wide receiver, converting from running back and also from being a track star. I think he's still running track. He is working on developing a more robust route inventory to increase his snap share, and with Deuce Robinson locked into the X role playing on the outside, Danzy can take the top off the defense for Ashton Daniels or whoever's playing quarterback for the Seminoles this year. But I'd love to see them get him the ball in space as well and let him go to work as a ball carrier. If there was college best ball, it'd be a no-brainer, but I'm betting on the work ethic and the development and looking for a breakout season from Micahi Danzy at Florida State. Also at receiver, I got Nyziah Hunter at Nebraska. Nebraska's got a new quarterback this year, Anthony Calandria. I think he was the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year last year. Hunter, I think, can be a big play threat, and Calandria is one who's going to go big play hunting. So I think between Hunter and Calandria, I think there'll be a good collaboration there. Hunter's had a couple of good seasons as a freshman and a sophomore, and I think this is the year where he puts it all together. I don't think people are expecting much out of Nebraska with Dylan Raiola transferring out of there. Keep an eye on Nyziah Hunter. At running back, I got CJ Baxter at Kentucky. He's a transfer from Texas, had a breakout season as a freshman in 2023, then had a lost season in 2024 with knee injury, never got off the ground in 2025, lingering injuries and reintegrating and coming back from a major knee injury. So, a little bit of projection here on the health. He says he's 100% healthy and feeling like his old self. And if that's true, you can probably get a dual threat productive RB for a bargain. Playing for Will Stein, you know what his offense looked like at Oregon these last few years. Both starting running backs from last year at Kentucky are gone. So you're betting on pedigree and the offensive environment and health. But if it all comes together the way it could, CJ Baxter could be a real playmaker for you this year. Next running back is Evan Dickens at Boston College. Dickens exploded down the stretch last year for Liberty, rushing for 945 yards and 12 touchdowns in the month of November. Boston College's top 3 running backs and top 3 pass catchers from 2025 are all gone, so it's a complete reset for the offense, and after a 2-10 season, maybe a reset was needed. Dickens comes in with big playability along with the capacity to handle the bell cow workload. There are a number of transfer-up players on this offense, but if they landed the right guys in the portal, this team could potentially surprise some people if the offense evolves with a big play running back like Dickens and the quarterback Mason McKenzie coming up from Saginaw Valley State. If they stick with the pro-style offense, they may struggle with that QB, but it'll be interesting to see what happens there at Chestnut Hill. Another running back here is Cam Edwards, running back at Michigan State. He had 1,200-plus yards at UConn last year. I'm a little surprised he didn't come out, but I'm glad. I know Michigan State is glad that he didn't. They're happy to have him there. They don't have a ton of playmakers there at Sparty. If that offense is going to go anywhere this year, it's going to be with Cam Edwards. He's a dual threat guy, can catch the ball to the backfield, can block. Obviously, the rushing production is there, so he'll be on the field all 3 downs, and it'll be a jumping competition for him going to the Big Ten, but I think he's ready for that challenge. He definitely was a level ahead of all the teams that were playing there at UConn, playing Rice and FAU and Delaware and all of that, and I think you saw that in the production. So he's ready to take on the next challenge in the Big Ten, and I think he will continue to be productive, and I think if you get him on your fantasy team, you'll be happy you got him. Let's go quarterback. A name you may not know, Walker Eget, who's playing at Duke, grad transfer from San Jose State. He plays with a grip it and rip it mentality. So not only is he productive, he's fun to watch. Duke loves to throw the ball, and they've struggled on defense, so there's been plenty of opportunities in shootouts in recent years. Eget helped produce the nation's leading receiver in terms of yardage in back-to-back seasons with Nick Nash and Danny Scudero, who's now over at Colorado. So I'd expect big things. Duke has some pass catchers this year. Jared Richardson came over from Penn. Jeremiah Hazley is back at tight end. Nate Shepard's a good player. So they got some players there on offense at Duke. And Walker Eget can be the engine of that offense. We also have Bear Bachmeier, quarterback at BYU. Bachmeier was a Bear for opposing defenses from day one as a freshman in 2025, leading the Cougars to a 12-2 season and a berth in the Big 12 championship game. He threw for over 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns while running for over 500 yards and 11 touchdowns as well. If you can tick those passing touchdowns up a bit this year with a reloaded wide receiver room, I'd expect more people to be aware of the Bear by the end of the season, and you can get him for a steal at the start. I'm so excited for college fantasy football because it gives people something else to talk about beside the college football playoff, and you get a chance to appreciate all of these great players, especially if you're not that invested in the outcome or your school. You just want to watch the games and see the bands and the cheerleaders and the mascots and all the fun stuff that comes along with college football. So let's see what happens. Let's have some fun and let's enjoy this college football season.